Join.
Thank you. Be seated. Court will call 23 DV 01247, State of Kansas vs. Matthew Lee Richards. Can I get appearances, please?
Good afternoon, Judge. May it please the court, State of Kansas appears by Lauren Young and Will Hurst.
May it please the court, Mr. Richards appears in person, in custody, and with his counsel, Deanne Scher.
We are here for sentencing today on a plea that was entered back in February. Have the parties received the pre-sentence investigation?
We have, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
Are there preliminary matters we need to take up?
The state has no objection to what's contained within the PSI, Judge.
PSI in this case, sir, shows a primary offense of attempted first-degree murder, criminal history score of I, a sentencing range between 147 and 165 months that is presumptive prison, carries with it 36 months of post-release. If probation were granted, it would be for 36 months. The count 2 is also attempted first-degree murder. It maintains that same criminal history score. I, the good time that's possible to be earned on that original account plus this second count are both 15% if I fail to cover that. The sentencing range between 147 and 165 months. It is presumptive prison. Post-release is up to 36 months. I show jail credit as of today of 558 days. Show no request for restitution. And we have gone over and you have received your information on your notice of duty to register. Do you have any objections or comments, Ms. Sheriff?
Mr. Richards and I had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report. We would not have any additions or corrections to it.
Well, operating underneath the plea agreement that was signed back in February, it called for the defendant to plead to counts 1 and 2. The defendant also acknowledged receipt and waived his right to a jury trial with regard to the upward durational departure, and the parties have an agreement with regard to the sentence that will be recommended to the court today. Is that still how we are proceeding?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Hurst, is there comments you'd like to make or something that you would like to speak?
Judge, I'll make comments briefly, and I don't believe there are any listed victims that wish to speak today. So, Judge, I'm asking the court to follow this agreement. As the court knows, there was a substantial amount of time that was put into reaching this resolution. It was mediated with Your Honor. I do feel it is an appropriate way to resolve a very difficult case. Your Honor, the plea agreement calls for an upward durational departure on count 1. The state filed back on November 28th of 23, the notice of an intent and motion for upward durational departure that lists 2 aggravating factors. Pursuant to the agreement, Judge, both parties are asking this court to adopt those aggravating factors and impose an upward durational sentence on count 1 of 188 months. Judge, as to count 2, that would be a high box sentence of 165 and run those consecutive to each other for 353 months. And all the other standard terms that the court's already gone over. So unless the court has any questions, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Sheriff, does your client wish to address the court? If he chooses not to, I won't hold it against him, but if he chooses to, now is the time.
Your Honor, he does wish to address the court, and I believe his mother and sister had a few comments for the court as well, if that would be allowed at this point.
I will listen to who wants to speak. I would also note, Ms. Sheriff sent to my chambers, I think along with to Mr. Hurst and Ms. Young, copies of 3 letters dealing with the defendant. I have reviewed those letters, and I appreciate you sending those to me.
Thank you.
Would you like to have the individual speak first?
I think that'd be best.
Okay. Who would like to go first? If you come up to the podium, please, ma'am, state your name, and then I'll listen to what you have to say.
I'm Catherine Clapp. I'm Matt's mom. What I want to address is to my son. My little boy yesterday, my friend today, my son forever. Never forget that I am so proud of you and I love you more than anything in this world. Love, Mama.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Mary White, and I am Matt's sister. I'm Stephanie's sister-in-law. And I am speaking on behalf of both of them, because I believe that this is a very unique case. This is not one that it's a bad guy did a bad thing. It's a good guy did a bad thing. There are consequences to this, and nobody is denying this situation. Nobody. We all know there's consequences. However, this is a good guy. And there's a reason why my sister-in-law had to go and get her own representation, because the DA did not want to listen to her wishes or her wants. And that should be taken into consideration. Why would they have to go and do that? I think that those children don't need to be apart from their father that long, honestly. He was a present father. He didn't have a present father, and he was a present father. He's a wonderful man who helped everybody that he could. He just didn't know how to help himself. Mental illness is a real thing. Now that we know what it is, we know how to go about fixing things and treating things, because it is for men. It's a faux pas. Nobody wants it to be fixed, or don't know how, their pride. They don't want to admit that there's something wrong. And now that we know how we can go about fixing it. And I think being gone for that long, away from everybody, would do more harm than good. And I'm just asking mercy, sir, that you would take mercy. I know that there has to be a penalty. There has to be a penalty. I know that. But that's an awful one. And I know it was an election year, and I know it was a platform for them. I don't even live in this state. But we shouldn't have to take it out on them. So I'm asking mercy, because he is a loving, present father that still needs to be in their life.